Hello, beautiful souls. Welcome to episode 2 of the Hidden Moments Lifestyle podcast and videos. So I'm simultaneously doing a video and a podcast. So however you are joining me, welcome, and I'm so happy to be talking to you today. Thank you for joining me. Just getting comfortable here. So I'm so excited because we've done the intro. I introduced who I was in the last episode. So if you weren't here for that, if you didn't see that, I encourage you to go back and just take a quick listen. It's not too long, but I do introduce myself. I introduce the Hidden Moments Lifestyle brand, what I'm about, and what the brand is all about. So it's just a good intro to where I'm coming from and the kinds of things I'm going to be talking about and why it matters so much to me to be connecting with you. So I encourage you to go back and listen to that intro or watch the video, and then come back and listen to this one because you'll have a little bit of a better context. So yeah, now that we have the intro out of the way, I honestly am so excited about today's topic, which is your inner bully and your insecurities. This topic is such a big topic for me, and I'm so passionate about it because honestly, what doesn't feel all that long ago, my life was run by my inner bully. And I honestly didn't even see my inner bully as being different from myself. And so to be able to go from that to where I am now, it's just like it's night and day. It's a huge difference. And it just means a lot to me to be able to talk about this, share some of the things I learned along the way, because I've tried lots of things that worked and I've tried things that didn't work. And so I want to be able to share that with you so that you don't make the same mistakes that I did and you can just continue on your journey in a way that's going to be really productive for you. So before we really jump in, I'm just going to talk a little bit about what your inner bully is. Some of you probably already know, and that's awesome. But just for anyone who doesn't, I'm going to do just like a quick introduction into what your inner bully is, and why it matters to you. So your inner bully is that voice that we all have, that is constantly just like harping on you. It's that voice who's telling you you're not good enough, you won't succeed, you're going to fail, people won't like you, just all those negative things that you hear in your head on a daily basis. That is your inner bully. And today, what I really want to share with you guys are two huge lessons that I've learned when it comes to my inner bully that I think will help you as well. And that first lesson is that you actually can overcome all of these things that your inner bully is telling you. And if you are someone who is currently living in a situation where your inner bully is running your life, like it sucks. I've been there. I know it sucks. I know how it feels, but it's totally okay because that's your starting point and we're just going to move forward from there. So if that's where you are, don't worry. It's totally okay. You can overcome that inner bully voice in your mind and you can learn how to quiet that voice, and then really live from a place of intention and live from a place where your true inner self is the one who's running the show. So that is probably the biggest lesson that I have learned. And oh, there's my dog in the background. Sorry, guys. But yeah, that's probably the biggest lesson that I've learned when it comes to your inner bully. And it's actually also what I'm teaching in my very first e-course, which is going to be coming out really soon. So you will be able to take part in that e-course. There's my dog, if you want to. And I'm so excited for it to come out. I really do think that it can help you transform your life. But that being said, as absolutely crucial as it is to overcome that inner bully and learn how to live from a place of your true self, I also want to share my other huge lesson with you today. And that lesson is that even if you're not there yet, even if you feel like you have miles and miles and miles to go, that's totally fine. You can still step into your true self, step into your soul's calling, and do all the things that you want to do, even if your inner bully is telling you all these crazy things and wants to hold you back. You don't have to wait until you feel like it's the perfect time. You don't have to wait until you feel 100% better and you feel like you're living from a place of your true inner self. You can start right now. So that's really, really important. And it's something that I didn't understand for so long, and it held me back for so long. So I really want to share that with you today. And I'm going to go into a lot more detail into both of those lessons that I just talked about, and share a couple stories with you as well, just to kind of reiterate that. And first, I really just want to say and share with you that if I had never stepped out of my comfort zone, if I had never said to my inner bully, like, yeah, okay, I hear you, but I'm going to do this anyways, oh my goodness, my life would look totally different than it looks right now. I would be back in that low place, feeling like, honestly, like shit all the time. That would be my life. And I'm so thankful that I had this little voice inside of me that said, you know what, maybe all of that good stuff is beyond my comfort zone, and maybe I need to just kind of ignore this inner bully right now and just go for it. And oh my goodness, you guys, when you do that, your life will be completely transformed forever. So I did that, and I slowly learned how to quiet that inner bully and live from a place where my true inner self, is in the driver's seat, is driving what I'm doing every day, and is really just from that positive place instead of that place where I'm constantly telling myself that I can't do things. But that being said, even when you learn how to manage your inner bully, she's still there. I mean, she's a part of you, right? So you're never going to get to a place where you don't even hear that voice anymore. She's always going to be there. But what you can learn is how to quiet her and how to manage her. And that's where I'm coming from, in the sense that I have really learned how to manage my inner bully, how to keep her a little quieter, and just tune that out and really tap into my higher self instead. And so that's what I want to share with you. And so I'm going to share a couple little tips with you. And the first is that if you are finding that that inner bully is really in control, she's constantly nattering on at you, and you just feel like you can't quiet her, the best thing you could possibly do is acknowledge that voice. The best thing you could possibly do is, instead of being angry at your inner bully, just acknowledge her fear, because everything she says is based in fear, and just acknowledge that fear and let her know, like, hey, you know what? Okay, I see you're afraid. I know you're trying to protect me, and I've got this. So it's okay. You don't have to worry. Because I think one of the biggest issues that comes up when it comes to your inner bully is that people get mad. Like when I first found out about my inner bully, and I first started to realize, oh, this inner bully is not me. Like, it's a part of me, but it's not my true self. It's separate. I was like, why do I have this inner bully who's constantly trying to sabotage me? I don't want this. I hate her. But the reality is, she's trying to help you. And even though it comes out in like these really kind of mean ways, like she's saying all these negative things to you, telling you you're not good enough, all of those kind of things, it comes out in that really like mean way, she's actually trying to protect you. And that's because she doesn't want you to get hurt. And so the only way that she knows how to stop you is by telling you not to go out of your comfort zone. And so basically that inner bully is doing absolutely everything in her power to stop you from going out of your comfort zone. And she does that by telling you that if you do that, you're going to fail, or nobody's going to like you, or you're not smart enough to do that. She's just doing everything she can possibly think of to hold you back, because that's where it's safe. It's safe for you in your comfort zone. And that's all relative, because it's safe in the sense that you might not get hurt there, but it's not safe in the sense that you won't be living your life's true purpose. So that's why it's so important to really calm her down and quiet her so that you can live your life's true purpose. But I think the very first step, other than recognizing that she is not your true inner voice, the very first step is, rather than be angry with her, just comfort her. Think of her as like this little child who is just very afraid, and you can just help comfort her. And the best way that you can do that is just take whatever fear she's throwing at you and tell her that no matter what, you are okay, you've got this, no matter what happens, you love yourself unconditionally. Because really, a lot of her fears are rooted in the fact that if something goes wrong, you're not going to love yourself, or you won't be worthy of receiving love, which is just not true. So if you let your inner bully know that no matter what happens, you love yourself unconditionally, that in itself really calms her down. And I think that's one of the best tools that you can use in the moment when you're trying to just quiet that voice a little bit. And then once you have that voice a little more quiet, you can start really listening to your true voice. So that is my kind of big tip for today. And then when we talk about the second lesson from the beginning, when I was talking about the 2 lessons that I really wanted you to take away today. So the second lesson being, even if you still have that inner bully and she's in the driver's seat, just go for it anyways. That part, I have a couple tips and a few stories about that as well. And so one thing that I'll say too, when it comes to your inner bully and she's getting really nervous and you feel that anxiety building, one way that I also love to calm her down is to just say, like, I feel in my soul, I feel like my true inner self knows that whatever this thing is that I'm doing, it might be scary because it's new, it's outside of my comfort zone, but it really is aligned with my true soul calling. So because I feel that way, I sometimes just ask the universe for that extra little nudge to show me that this big, scary, exciting thing that I'm doing is aligned with what my soul's true purpose is, and that the universe has my back. Because being a law of attraction practitioner, and even just sort of like what I consider my spirituality, the universe literally always has your back. And even though you feel like you might be taking a huge risk, it's not nearly as large as you think it is, because the universe is always there to support you. But being human, we sometimes need that little bit of reinforcement. So when I need that reinforcement, I just ask the universe for that little nudge, that little sign that what I'm about to do is putting me on the right path. And then every time I've ever asked for a sign, I always get it. And at some point, I think I'll do a podcast and a video on signs, and just like finding your own sign and listening to the universe and how you can co-create in a way that the universe is always giving you those little nudges to tell you that you're on the right path. But that's a story for another day. But I am going to tell you a story, honestly, just in the past couple of days, where my own inner bully was kind of getting really anxious, and how I calmed her down. And so what I've been up to, so as a coach, I find you can be a coach for years, or you can be a new coach, whatever. You yourself still need a coach as well, because we're constantly growing. And if you aren't growing as a coach, then how can you help your clients grow? And so that is something I truly believe, and I've been looking for my own coach for a little while now, but I hadn't quite found the right fit. And then I recently stumbled upon a coach, and I was like, oh my goodness, this is everything I've been looking for. This is exactly what I want in a coach. Like, I 100% think that this is the right thing to do. But it was the biggest investment that I would have made into my business and myself to date. And so as soon as I saw that, my inner bully was like, whoa, 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 like, that is too much. Like, that's irresponsible, like, just too much. And it started getting really anxious, and then I started feeling like, oh, like, is this the right decision? I'm not sure what to do. Like, it feels like the right decision, but there's this little part of me that's living in a scarcity mindset right now that feels like maybe this is not the right decision. And so the first thing I did, like I mentioned to you, is that I really tapped into my true inner self and kind of got to the bottom of what I actually felt about this decision. And the reality was that I thought this was the perfect decision, the perfect coaching opportunity, and that I really wanted to do it. But it was just that inner bully that was holding me back. And so, like I mentioned, I just kind of calmed down my inner bully by saying, like, I'm so thankful that you care enough about me to, try and stop me from something that's going to hurt me. But the reality is, I've got this. Everything is okay. I'm supported. I love myself no matter what happens, and I've got this. So it's okay. You can take a seat. Everything's fine. So once I had done that, I felt a lot better, but I still was just kind of on edge about it. And so I said, all right, fair enough. Like, if you need another reassurance, universe, send me a sign. Let me know that this is the right decision for me before I just click go. And so another thing about asking for signs is so many people are like, they ask for a sign and then they're like, oh my God, where is it? Like, is that a sign? Is that a sign? Is that a sign? And you kind of just have to ask for it and then let it be, which is like one of the hardest things in the world, but you really just have to kind of let it go and see what comes back to you. So I asked for a sign, and then I just kind of went about my day, and I had just put Nora to bed, my daughter Nora. So I was tidying up a little bit, and then I went to our mailbox, and I grabbed the paper from our mailbox, and I set it on the table, and right on the front page were these big bold letters that said, "Look inside." So I opened up the paper, and there right in front of me in big bold letters on the next page is what was an ad, but in huge letters it said, "This is too good not to miss." No, too good to miss. Sorry, too good to miss. And so I was sitting there and I was like, oh, I really think that that's my sign, but like, it's not 100% feeling okay yet. So universe, like, I know this is probably it, but can you please just send me one more sign just so I can be 100% sure? So I went into my room and I saw this book sitting on my nightstand. For those of you who are listening in the podcast, it's Louise Hay's book, You Can Heal Your Life. It pretty much just has like permanent residency on my nightstand because I read it over and over again. I absolutely love that book. It's the book that was the catalyst to my own healing journey. So anyway, I walk into my room, I see it on my nightstand, and I said, okay, universe, I'm going to pick up this book. I'm going to flip through the pages, and if this is the right decision for me, you are going to get me to stop on the page that answers my question. So might sound strange to you, but that's just what popped into my head, and so I did it. I flipped through the pages, and out of this entire book, for those of you who don't know, most of the chapters are on things like healing, like little bits of the law of attraction and that kind of thing as well, but there's one chapter on prosperity. So I flipped through the pages, and I just so happened to open it on the page dedicated to prosperity. And when I'm reading it, it's telling me like wealth is a mindset, scarcity is a mindset, lack is a mindset, and that if you truly want to transform your life, you have to be willing to believe that you deserve it, first of all, and that you will be supported in your decisions, and that you're not taking a risk because the universe is there to support you. So I was like, boom, okay, there's my sign. I feel 100% better, and now I feel 100% ready to jump into this wholeheartedly. So that's what I did. I went and signed up with this coach, and like now I just feel amazing about it. I'm so excited to move forward. I'm so excited that this is the next step for me. And yeah, I just feel amazing about it, but I wouldn't have had that if I, first of all, didn't know how to quiet my inner bully, or if I didn't know how to make myself feel better by asking the universe to support me. So those are two big tips that I have when it comes to quieting your inner bully, and quieting those insecurities that come up. But the second piece from the beginning of the podcast on moving forward, regardless of whether or not your inner bully is there, that is huge, because you might be in a spot in your life where you feel like you don't know exactly how to handle your inner bully, or your inner bully is kind of running the show and she's always there. And that's okay. That doesn't mean that you can't be successful. It doesn't mean that you can't move forward with your goals and dreams. It just means that you might feel a little bit uneasy about it. And as much as, you know, I don't want you to feel super uncomfortable, I also am pushing you a little bit to say, in this case, it's okay to feel uncomfortable, and you kind of just have to lean into it. And so what I think is that you want to do the inner work of helping yourself quiet your inner bully, but you also don't want to wait until that's finished to do the things you want to do. I mean, even before you know exactly how to handle your inner bully, even before everything feels perfect, you can do all the things. And I think that that's so important, because the reality is, if you have a little bit of a block or a barrier that's stopping you, you're never going to feel like the time is perfect. So you have to just jump in and do it anyways. And I honestly think that one of the biggest misconceptions out there when it comes to your inner bully is thinking that you need to get past her first before you can start doing all the things you want to do. And that is just absolutely not true. And if you just take the step and you do the thing that you want to do, the reality is that's going to make you feel better. And when you feel better, you're going to find it a lot easier to do the inner work of silencing your inner bully. So I really think you kind of have to do the two in conjunction. You want to do the inner work to help quiet your inner bully, and simultaneously you want to put everything into practice, put yourself out there, and do whatever it is that you've been wanting to do and you've been holding yourself back from. So I really, really want you to understand that no matter how you feel today, you can move forward. You can take that baby step, or you can take that big leap. You can do it. And you can simultaneously do the inner work with your inner bully to help calm her down. And eventually those two pieces are just going to come together, and you're going to feel amazing. You're going to know how to manage your inner bully, and you're also going to know how to push past that fear and just do all the things. So I really hope that you take that lesson today, and that you are willing to do those big things that scare you, because the reality is you were meant for amazing, amazing things. And if you came across this podcast today or video, however you're participating, I really do believe that the universe brought you here because this is what you needed to hear today. So I hope you take this message, you put it into action, and you give yourself the space to step out of your comfort zone and do something amazing with your day. Yeah, so that's what I really wanted to tell you today. I really do hope that you feel I guess, comfortable in the uncomfortable, because that's what it takes for the initial couple steps while you're doing this inner work. And I also want you to know that I'm here to support you in any way that I can. You can join our Facebook group, the Hidden Moments Lifestyle Facebook group, where I'll be posting more tips and tricks, where you can meet other people who are also interested in personal development, such like yourself. And I'll also be releasing a course very soon on your inner bully is a big part, how to combat your inner bully, really quiet her, calm her down, how do you push out all the societal pressures and really tap into your true inner self. So I'll be taking some of the things that I talked about today and going a lot more in depth and providing a lot more tips, journal prompts, activities, and just like my top practices that I use to help me tap into my true inner self. So stay tuned, that will be coming soon. And in the meantime, I really hope that you step out of your comfort zone today and do something awesome.